Welcome to this presentation on OpenShift Anywhere with F5 Distributed Cloud, Module 2, Distributed Cloud Mesh to deliver services for ROSA. So similar setup, we are now going to focus on the AWS setup or the ROSA OpenShift configuration. In this case, we're going to create the AWS site, discover the cloud service, and finally distribute the service so that it can be accessible by end users. So a little bit about Red Hat OpenShift on AWS or ROSA. It's very similar to ARO in that it provides a fully functional day 2 managed service. So you can sort of get your feet wet very quickly and get OpenShift up and running, get a production level OpenShift environment up and running. There's 3 master nodes, 2 infrastructure nodes, and 3 worker nodes, or 1 per AZ, so slightly more nodes than a configuration with ARO. So now we're going to take a look at the UI, very similar, in fact exactly the same as the UI on ARO. It's the same look and feel as a normal OpenShift deployment. As I mentioned, we have 7 nodes instead of 6. And then we'll pivot to developer mode. And we'll look at the web front end where most of the configuration is going to happen, but we see the different services. So let's first start by creating an AWS site with F5 Cloud Services. We're going to go to Site Management, and we're going to create an AWS VPC site. So we'll select something from the West region with an existing VPC ID. We'll configure the ingress gateway. And a lot of this information has been pre-populated, and it's an existing subnet ID. We apply that, and we allow both HTTP and HTTPS traffic. We'll save and exit. We see that the changes have been applied. We'll check the health, and we'll see that the tunnel is up and running. Okay, so now let's do the service discovery. We're going to click on the Service Discovery tab. We'll add a new discovery. Provide a name, obviously populate with a name. And because we're connecting to a Kubernetes environment, we're going to edit the configuration and apply so that we can now do the necessary discovery of the services. We'll save and exit, refresh the UI, and we'll see the AWS services available. And just double checking. Now we're going to create an HTTP load balancer. Obviously, this is for demonstration purposes. You may choose to use HTTPS, but for simplicity's sake, we're just going to use port 80. We've created a fake e-commerce store called the Hipster Store. We'll add the name. Configure the site. And of course, this is the outside network. Again, change the port to 80 for simplicity's sake. We see the pool. And as you notice, you have the load balancing algorithm, which can be changed, but in this case, we're going to do round robin. And now finally, we'll see the URL for the Hipster Store. We're going to just pick up that domain, open a browser window, and voila. We can now check the application health. And we see the traffic being generated. So that's it. Thank you for joining. Stay tuned for Module 3.